Okay. When you kick, so when you're young and strong, you can use a lot of leg muscle and flexibility. I had incredible legs when I was a young martial artist. I could kick really high and really fast and really hard. And it was a great thing to be able to do. As you get older, you realize, though, that you don't necessarily have that capacity. For every Superfoot Wallace who can stick their leg out when they're 60, you have people like me who had an accident of a sort, um, for whatever reason, just can't. Can you still kick? Yes. But you have to break it down to its most essential elements to understand how that works, okay? Kicking, particularly because of the anchor foot, you have to understand that the position of your hip joint and your foot will determine if your energy goes into the target or if it's just kind of a little bit of force. You can kick something pretty damn hard with your leg and you may not get the results that you want, okay? We're going to look at that briefly, and I'm going to show you something that looks a little unorthodox, but it's a principle to use and to understand when you kick, okay? Even if you have dynamics where you can be more athletic with the kicking, this is something to learn that will teach you how to really kick something hard, okay? All right. If you look at me from the side here, and my left foot, okay? A lot of times if we're doing a fast kick, this leg may not turn, okay? Perfectly reasonable for certain types of kick where you're using your dead weight. If you kick somebody in the leg, that's kind of come into martial arts fashion now through one of the karate styles. If you're using a kind of I don't say snap kick. I'll never snap my leg because that's not how you kick. But if you're using a fast kick to the groin with some sort of a diversion, okay? Boom, not turning this foot, okay? Those are legit. But if you want to really kick something hard, okay? What you want to learn how to do is open this line up, okay? And when you open that line up, if you just sort of stay here and kick, you're not going to really be able to do that effectively because in a situation, you're going to be moving, you're going to be fighting, okay? So what you want to learn how to do is as I come through here and I turn this leg, okay, I want to just move through this plane right here. And I want, this is for a front kick primarily, but it'll apply to the other kicks. I simply want to come through that plane with all my force, okay? And just let the leg come up as high as it can and plant on the target, okay? Okay? Open up the pelvic girdle. Bow, okay? I'm just breaking that plane with this. I'm letting my foot turn to open up, okay? So that when I make that kick, if I do this and I make that kick, a lot of that force is going to come back onto me and my hip will not fully articulate and come out enough so that I take advantage of extension, okay? So it would be like throwing a punch here or here, okay? Where you want to really get that extra extension, but unlike your shoulders, which work slightly different, with your legs, if you don't do that, you're really going to be taking a lot of the force and dissipating it wastefully, and it won't be as effective. I'm more or less doing this, okay? Now you can control that kick. You don't have to put it forwards, but when you kick, your momentum has to be forwards. Okay? Then you can decide what you want to do with your leg. The important thing here is what happens with this leg as it turns, okay? With a roundhouse, it's the same principle, okay? When you do a roundhouse, You don't want to stop here and snap. Even if you only come 3/4, you want to turn your leg over, and this is something I can't tell you why it is. I don't quite understand it, but you want your leg to be parallel as it can be. You want to look like Pee Wee Herman with a leg up. I know that sounds ridiculous, but somehow that transfers your force into the target much more effectively, okay? Even if you're just using dead weight, and you can approximate it. You may not be able to get it fully up, but I want to more or less come here. And that's my kick. Any extension past that point is a preference, okay? The force comes here. Again, by opening up this line, just like we talked about the different ways of pivoting, okay? I can pivot on my toe here if I want, although for the sake of stability, I still prefer the heel. But the important thing is getting this up parallel and striking your target, okay? Not the extension of the front leg, all right? You extend that on an as-needed basis, okay? If I'm kicking to your knee, I can even use my knee for that kick, okay? Pow, okay? If I'm kicking a little farther, pow, all right? And the thing that makes a kick work is this movement here. See the movement and the pivot? You can even do this kick like this. As far as doing a side or back kick, the same things apply. With side kicks, you might be in a position where you economize the movement because of your body position, okay? But if you turn that into a back kick or a hip kick or a mule kick, all these different names, you want that pelvic girdle to be open so that your force goes into the target and not back into your structure. So for example, if I'm here and I want to maybe do a quick side kick here, pow, a leg check even, that's okay. I don't necessarily have to do this for that. See this foot? Okay, the force of that kick is coming more with the dead weight. Coming here, bam, and catching you fast, and with a follow-up usually, okay? But the minute I make that into a strong kick, this turns out, okay? Pow. Watch this back leg. Pow. Pow. That's putting all my force here. You're rocking back, okay? You're here, and when you do that, boom. As this comes here and this turns, your other leg just completes, okay? Pow. I don't have good balance, I'm sorry, but boom, boom, boom. If this is done properly, you don't even have to telegraph. Joe Louis, the karateka, famously learned in Okinawa how to do that kick with no telegraph. Just here, pow. Okay, just pow. Anyway, a few things to play with. Remember the principle and the pivot, and apply it so that you can kick something like a bag, and you will feel your force, when it's done properly, go into the object, which means not pushing the object, but it should jog the object. Pow! Not this, not this, this. Going in and through, okay? And that's how you do a really strong kick, okay? Hope that helps. Us.